This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 1425. The Biggest Enemy of Retirement? You, by Fritz Gilbert of the retirementmanifesto.com. And I'm your host and personal finance enthusiast, Diana Merriam. This is the show where I serenade you with the sweet sounds of personal finance knowledge from some of the best blogs on the planet, with the author's permission, of course. For now, let's get right to today's post as we optimize your life. The Biggest Enemy of Retirement? You, by Fritz Gilbert of the retirementmanifesto.com. Ponder for a moment this question. What is the biggest enemy of retirement? Thinking of enemies as elements fighting against our goal of achieving a great retirement is an interesting way to change your perspective. We should be ever watchful for things that conspire against us and the goals we're hoping to achieve. We should get in a tank and develop defenses against those things which could negatively impact our progress. Have you thought about it? Have you considered the forces working against your retirement and developed plans to overcome each enemy? So, which enemy is your biggest? I've got a surprise for you. Your biggest enemy is yourself. I came across a recent article in The Street, which led to my writing this article. The article was titled Retirement's Biggest Enemy and focused on the role of procrastination and its impact on people's ability to retire. To quote the article, when it comes to retirement savings, way too many Americans can't overcome the hurdle of procrastination, end quote. Procrastination is a major obstacle in achieving our savings goals. It's so easy to put it off till tomorrow, the things that in reality need to be put into place ASAP to generate the biggest value. Let's focus on some of the impacts that this enemy named procrastination can have on your retirement. The negative impacts of procrastination. Number 1, the loss of compounding. In my article on the amazing power of compound interest, I talked about 3 savers, each investing $1,000 per month for 10 years and then leaving it alone. The only difference? Each started their savings 10 years later at age 25, 35, and 45 respectively. The difference between starting at age 25 versus age 45 was over $1 million. According to the Street article mentioned earlier, only 27% of millennials were able to save for retirement in 2015. Procrastination may well end up costing those millennials over $1 million. Yet I suspect few realize the true cost of their procrastination. Tell them, please, forward this article to anyone in your family under the age of 35. It's important for young folks to recognize the impact of the decisions they're making in their early adult years. Number 2, the amount you need to save each month. Aligned with number 1, but significant enough to warrant a separate headline. Because of the power of compounding, the amount of money you need to save each month is dramatically impacted by how long you wait to start your retirement savings. In the post titled The Most Powerful Force in the Universe, I cite a study by Business Insider which shows the monthly amount of savings required to reach $1 million by the age of 65. Age 25 is $360 a month. Age 35 is $991 a month. And by age 45, it's $2,154 a month. All 3 scenarios result in the same $1 million at age 65. But the person who waits must contribute massively higher monthly savings later in life to make up for the lost years and the compounding effect from those earlier savings. Increased cost of debt. How many Americans have paid down debt thus far in 2015? According to the Street article, only 38% of Americans have paid down debt, in spite of 51% of them that identified it as a goal. I suspect the majority of Americans have debt they should pay down, and I'm a bit concerned that only 51% identified it as a goal. Regardless, procrastination can be particularly expensive when it comes to your debt burden. The cost of credit card debt is a good example of what procrastination can do to your cost of buying things. According to an analysis by Wisebread, if you buy something for $3,000 on your credit card and decide to simply pay the minimum charge of $60 a month due to procrastination, your total cost for the item will be $6,641, and you won't own the item free and clear for 16 years. You pay for every day that you procrastinate paying down debt. Prioritize debt reduction today and reduce the amount of your disposable income that gets destroyed by interest payments. Then redirect these savings to your retirement savings. Enemy destroyed. Number 4, and more. Each of us can think of areas where we know procrastination costs us something. Fortune had an interesting article titled 8 Common Ways Procrastination Costs You Big Time, which will help expand your thinking. The important thing to realize is that we're all prone to procrastinate at times, and we have to be aware of the tendency and recognize the cost of the problem. Don't ignore this number one enemy of retirement, and don't ignore what it's really costing you in regards to your longer-term future. The good news about procrastination. I like this quote from Christopher Parker. Procrastination is like a credit card. It's a lot of fun until you get the bill. End quote. Fortunately, unlike all of the other enemies identified at the start of this article, the good news about procrastination is that it's within your control. There are numerous articles available which outline strategies to improve on your tendency to procrastinate. There is, in reality, nothing you can do about government policy. Take, for example, the recent decision to kill the file and suspend strategy for optimizing Social Security income. The same goes for interest rates, pension reform, or healthcare. Procrastination, however, is something you can address. The sooner, the better. A great place to start is an article written by Brian O'Connell titled Key Financial Steps to Take Before Year End. It's got some very good tips on things you should prioritize now, including budgeting, meeting with a financial advisor, making a list of items to check, etc. I strongly encourage you to read it, pick a few items, and get started. Even if you're getting a late start, don't use it as an excuse to continue to procrastinate. The Street article makes a point that even if you don't start until age 50, you can still start an IRA today. If you prioritize and contribute the maximum of $5,500 plus $1,000 in catch-up funds, you can accumulate around $300,000 by age 70, assumes an 8% return. You are capable of destroying the number one enemy of your retirement goals. All it takes is will. Don't procrastinate, do something about it, and do it today. You just listened to the post titled, The Biggest Enemy of Retirement? You, by Fritz Gilbert of the retirementmanifesto.com. Thanks to Pitney Bowes for their support. Ship like a pro with SendPro Online by Pitney Bowes. SendPro Online is an easy-to-use solution that will allow you to buy postage and print shipping labels online, at the office, at home, or on the go. For as low as $4.99 a month, you'll save up to 40% off USPS Priority Mail. Plus, for being an Optimal Finance Daily listener, you'll receive a free 30-day trial to get started and a free 10-pound scale to ensure you'll never overpay. With SendPro Online, you can calculate exact postage and print from your PC, all while avoiding trips to the post office. It's what we use to mail our Optimal Living Daily workbooks. Totally worth it. You can compare and choose the best rates across carriers, schedule package pickups, and track shipments from departure to arrival. Go to pb.com/OFD to access this special offer for a free 30-day trial plus a free 10-pound scale to get started. That's pb.com/OFD. Ship like a pro, simplify your shipping, and save with a free trial of SendPro Online from Pitney Bowes. This article had me reflecting back on my own procrastination when it came to getting out of debt, saving, and investing. I think my biggest problem in my 20s was simply that I wasn't all that aware of my financial situation. I knew I had some debt, but it wasn't until I ran my free credit report and looked at everything collectively that I realized I was actually $30,000 in debt. That certainly created some urgency, but if I didn't get curious, I might still be blissfully unaware. The other reason why I procrastinated was because I thought I'd be making so much money one day that my lack of saving and investing when I was young wouldn't matter. I mean, it's great that I had big dreams for myself and I believed I had high earning potential, but that's also a god-awful strategy for someone who is financially illiterate. I had no idea about the power of compound interest and definitely lost out on investment gains in my younger years. But the thing is, everything is figure-outable. Even if you're getting a late start, for me, I started at 28. You can fix this. Now, 5 years after getting out of debt, I'm what is considered coast-fi, meaning that if I don't contribute one more penny to my retirement vehicles, they will compound and grow to what I need at traditional retirement age. Finally, I procrastinated because I felt like I didn't understand enough about investing to do it confidently. And when I would try to learn on my own, it really intimidated me. If you've been listening for a while, you know that J.L. Collins' book, The Simple Path to Wealth, is what cured me of my investing fears. I also realized over time that I don't need to know everything about investing in order to properly save for retirement. And even now, as someone who reads and talks about money every single day, I still don't know everything. I'm learning right alongside you as I narrate these posts. Sometimes I think the financial services industry purposely makes things complicated so we are willing to pay the high management fees for a financial advisor. But it doesn't have to be that way. We can educate ourselves enough to be confident about our financial choices. And then if we do hire a financial advisor, we'll be in a position to ask the right questions and feel more confident that we're working with someone we can trust. The fact that you're listening to this podcast is a great sign that you have a bright financial future ahead of you. And that's a wrap for another Tuesday show. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll be back tomorrow as usual, where your optimal life awaits.